Boom. We live. Boom, 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 boom. The locker room. Boom, 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 boom. College football. Boom, 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 boom.
We did not own the rights to that music.
That was just something I made up in my head, man. Do not sue me for none of that. You know what I mean? I want to introduce everybody. Listen, this is the Locker Rooms edition of college football. This is the college football show. I would like to introduce y'all to the host of this thing, AB.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy AB. It's my first time on Zoom in about 2 years. I like Oklahoma Sooners for the last 21, 22 years. I've been a fan for a very, very long time, going back to the Bob Stoops days. So thank you all for having me on, man.
We also got Kilo, who is
What's up, world? Keep it short. What's up, world?
You gonna tell your team? Oh, okay.
There we go, Clemson,
They ain't
baby.
shit anyways.
Yeah, whatever.
Clemson in the house.
2006, baby, and counting.
Okay. Pylon in the building.
Yo, what's going on? I know Kilo sees that 2019 in the picture. He already knows what's up. He knows the Alpha
I don't
Tigers.
think the fans can see that picture.
Yo, he hype, yo.
LSU national champions. LSU fan.
LSU fan. That's Pylon to Pylon. He's the LSU fan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here. Dennis Holmes, the Ignorant Thinker Podcast. Tennessee Volunteers. And I also like the Temple Owls because I could go to most of their games for $5 a piece. So I keep up with the local team. All right? Don't get mad at me because I have 2 college football teams. It's just that it's a lot cheaper to go to that game. Just letting you know. But today, what we discussing, AB?
We have a lot of topics to go over. Me and Kilo did a show maybe about a month ago, and we came up with this college football show because I know that we don't really cover college football that much. So me and him wanted to do a show for everybody, and that's so we could talk about college football, man, because that's something that's like rare out here, man. Everything is NFL and NBA talk and all the other stuff. So we want to do college football today. SEC expansion. Oklahoma and Texas. They talking about they going to SEC out of out the blue now. So don't they got 14 teams already?
Yeah, it's 14.
Yeah, it'll be 16 when they join.
When they join, it'll be 16, which is 2000. It's supposed to be 2025, right? That'll be when they join.
At least 2 years, I think.
It's 2 years, you said, Jared?
I think 2 years. That's what they were saying.
Okay. Not bad.
So, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on Oklahoma and Texas going to SEC?
Well, it makes the what division was they in before that? I want to make sure I got it right.
Big 12.
The Big 12. What that turned into now? The Big 8.
It's gonna be dead. That conference is over.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to figure out. But see, this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought if they was going to get those 2 teams, then they was going to take 2 out of the SEC. That's what I thought was going to happen. But people told me no.
I mean, that would be logical.
Yeah, because I thought they could take Kentucky and Vanderbilt right out. Right? About that.
They could take Vanderbilt and then they could take Missouri back.
Yeah, they need to take Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt got a record over Oklahoma. Right, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they can take Vanderbilt. I don't care who as long as they don't touch Tennessee, that's all that matters, right?
Missouri came from the Big 12, so send them back.
Right.
Yes. Texas A&M and Missouri came from the Big 12.
Yeah. They're not taking Texas A&M.
No, Texas A&M ain't going nowhere.
No. I mean, I don't know. man, like I don't know what's happening now, like because
They
I don't
can
know
move
if like
Arkansas.
y'all. You said what?
They can move Arkansas.
I mean, like they was talking about this years ago too. Like I don't know if y'all remember that shit, but
Yeah.
Texas and Oklahoma was gonna start their own John, and then they signed an extension with the Big 12. You know, like it's gonna be a big loss for the Big 12, of course. I don't think that they're gonna survive this unless they bring in some. I mean, unless they bring in somebody else. But it's gonna get crazy, man. Like you know, Oklahoma, you know, going to be playing Alabama and LSU every year now. This is like some big stuff right here. You know, even though Oklahoma doesn't get the best defensive players, but now if they go into the SEC, you know, this is big news because they can start getting some guys. They can start going to, you know, to Florida or Louisiana and Alabama, Mississippi. Like they can start getting them guys. You know, so like we gotta see, man. I mean, like Oklahoma and Texas, they've been top 10 recruiting for the last couple of years anyway. So, but if they start getting them, you know, they can start going down south and getting these guys now. It's gonna be major for them. You know, defensively, offensively, like, I'm not worried about offense. It's defense that they have to step up.
Yeah, because the SEC is definitely a defensive conference.
Yeah, like they're gonna have to step up a lot, man. Like you know, like I just want to see how Oklahoma, you know, play everybody else because like Bama is Bama, and you know Georgia gonna be good, but the rest of the conference ain't that great to me. They're not that great to me.
I mean,
LSU,
I feel like the sleepers are Texas A&M and Auburn. They are sleepers. Auburn can sit up there
up and down, you know.
Yeah, but that's the fact. They're not consistent, but they is one of those teams that just pull a crucial.
Yeah, they're the long-term sleepers, definitely, especially when Texas A&M, they've been improving since Jimbo got there, so they'll be good. The short term, though, the sleepers will miss for sure. They got some players, and they got some good coaching moves, so they're the short-term sleeper to watch out for. I like the idea that was proposed of having 4 different pods. Now that it's going to be 16 teams in the SEC, 4 different pods of 4 teams. Put Alabama. I don't know. I don't even know how you'd start to arrange it, but 4 teams in each pod. You play each team once a year in your pod, and then maybe 1 team from each of the other ones each year.
Okay.
I think you'd have to put Oklahoma in one. You'd have to put Alabama in one. You'd have to put LSU in one, and then the other one would have to probably be Florida, since on average those would be the top teams, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Or Georgia instead of Florida.
I'm curious if Oklahoma and Texas, like I said, once they come through, like which of the SC teams that's pretty much knocking at the door, like which teams is it going to really affect?
I think anybody,
like far as like at least high ranking, or if not
like being a threat to those teams that are there.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like Florida been knocking at the door, but they're not consistent at all. They've been knocking at the door, but if you bring in Texas and Oklahoma, you know, that could make it extremely difficult for those teams that have been knocking at the door to get in there.
Well, Texas is going to be screwed regardless. They'll get beat by a lot of the teams in that conference. But for Oklahoma, they'll beat anybody like consistently year after year. They'll beat everybody that's outside of the top 4. I think Florida, Georgia, LSU, and Alabama. They can mix games with them, go 1-1, 2-2, whatever. But the other teams, Oklahoma will beat every time. I think, for the most part.
You said it's 2 years. It's 2 years if they get the official rights to move. It's 2 years after that.
So I heard too. Who knows? We should be getting news the next week or two on details. So it could be 2025, could be, but I think it's at least 2 years. That's what I heard. Could be more though.
Yeah, that'll be a nice money move for them.
That's all it is. It's just about the money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's
definitely. How official was that article where they talking about them possibly trying to expand 20 teams? How official?
20 teams.
The one.
20 teams in SEC.
The one that Chad posted in the chat.
Yeah, I remember hearing something
I don't think that was
Ohio State in the SEC.
Oh no, that like, and if the only way you start throwing at Ohio State, Clemson all going there now is if you're creating like an NFL style West East or a 2-conference like entire country, which wouldn't really make sense because there's so many teams.
Right.
But they're trying to. Yeah, I'm hearing that they're trying to make it like 4 real power conferences with like 16 plus teams in each. But who knows? There's so much going on.
So if that's the case, the Big 12 definitely gonna fall apart.
If they lose Texas and Oklahoma, they're gonna fall apart. There's no way.
So I got a feeling that most of the teams. I was about to ask, what team would be the top dog after those 2 teams leave.
The 2 teams are going to be Oklahoma State and TCU, and I think specifically TCU.
I was going to say TCU. That's what I was going to say.
They're good, man. That's a good team.
TCU, they be having some players on their team. So.
What about Iowa State? Iowa State is knocking
on the door. I don't know.
They're gonna surprise some people this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've been producing running backs lately. They've had a decent quarterback at the helm, but I don't know. They don't do enough defensively to stop these big teams usually. That's their problem. Right. There's only a few teams in that conference that'll actually give you good defense. TCU and on and off Oklahoma. That's really it.
Okay.
And sometimes Baylor, especially since they got Dave Aranda over there now. But usually it's like TCU's been putting out really good DBs recently.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's had a couple of good defensive players. But yeah, those only 2 teams are really bringing defense on a consistent basis to that conference. So Oklahoma would be good. TCU will thrive, I think, really well. They'll be the top dog in that conference for sure if those 2 leave.
But if let's say the whole conference was a split, what conference do you see TCU going to? What conference would they fit in?
I'm trying to what.
Like I'm already anticipating Iowa State will fit well with Big Ten.
Yeah, Iowa State, I could definitely see Big Ten. Well, I'm blanking on the conference name that has a bunch of Texas teams already. I think TCU could go there. It's not a good what is it? The Conference USA or the AAC? Whatever one has Tulane and all them.
No, that's the AAC.
Yeah, I could see TCU going there because there's like 4 or 5 Texas teams already there. But that's another thing too. Like TCU is going to thrive from recruiting if Texas leaves because now they're going to be the top Texas team for sure in that conference, and more players are not going to want to go to Texas once they start getting beat on in the SEC. They're going to lose recruits, and all those in-state recruits are going to start going to TCU. And if Oklahoma's success early is key when they move too, because then they could start losing recruits to Oklahoma State more and more from in-state, since they'll be doing better and Oklahoma would be doing worse in that sense.
Question.
It's interesting.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Big 12 will open doors to teams like a North Dakota State?
I think a team like a Nebraska from the Big 10 would be a good move to go to the Big 12. Personally,
I think a North Dakota State is time for them to move to a Power 5.
I ain't ready for them to go on that yet.
Yeah, I don't know if you go Power 5 right away when you go to when you move up.
If they go to the Big 12, ain't that a Power 5 school?
Yeah, I would put them. I would have them go to Oh my God, I'm blanking on the other conference names, but Cincinnati, Memphis, and
Temple
and
UCF. The AAC, the American Athletic Conference.
I will put them in the Mountain West.
Mountain West, with San Diego State.
I like it, and Boise State. I like them to duke it out there.
Because San Diego State.
So do you move one of those teams that was in the Mountain West to the? Or you move one of those teams that's in the AAC to the? Or you move one of those teams that's in the AAC to the? Mountain West?
No, I will put them in the Mountain West.
Or you move one of those teams that's in the AAC to the? Mountain West? Or you move one of those teams that's in the AAC to the?
I mean, if it's anybody, move Hawaii out. Ain't did nothing. The Rainbow Warriors ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
I ain't
plus
say moving them out as in I'm talking about moving them up. We're moving them up now to the big, which was the Big 12, but it's more like the Big 8.
Well, it'd be Boise State be the first one you move up. If you were to move a team out of the Mountain West, put South Dakota State.
that's
North
tough
Dakota.
though, because Boise State's like moving them is going to make that conference even weaker, and it's not like a strong conference. If you keep Boise State, you put a North Dakota State, they actually do good. Then you have 3 solid teams in that conference, and you have San Diego State, then you have Boise State, and then you'd have North Dakota State. So you'd at least have 3 good teams out there. Because then if North Dakota State ends up not being able to adjust and they don't do well, then you really have one competitive team, really, for the most part, San Diego State, if you take out Boise. And then that conference starts falling off. It's so much to think about. It's so many teams, so many moving parts.
But there's other teams out there, like North Dakota State has had 2 quarterbacks drafted in the top 5 in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like at some point, it's time for you to see them play some better competition. Like, all right,
and even besides the quarterbacks, they've had good other players.
You're starting to build a QB factory over there in North Dakota State. It's time for us to start seeing North Dakota State play some better competition.
Yeah.
Plus, if they move they move up to this conference, it would change their their ability to retain players so much better too. Because now you're seeing guys that when they're actually getting these good players at North Dakota State, most of them are transferring in their last year or two, like Jabril Cox to LSU from North Dakota State.
Right, and you know,
those players usually wouldn't leave now if they're now in the main division or the main conference.
Right, now these kids is getting paid now, so off their likeness.
Yeah, that's changing. That's changing absolutely everything now.
That's changing a whole lot of things now. I think now you're gonna get a more competitive college football than ever before, because a lot of these kids ain't just gonna go and sit on no bench just because they know, you know, they can wait till you. They might go to a corny school and get that likeness money and ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole recruiting game's changing now with the money, because now you're gonna have people going to wherever they're gonna get paid highest.
Yeah, but it's definitely something to think about. I mean, does the HBCUs do a move up? Not Jackson State. I'm talking about like the ones
South Carolina State.
Right, the ones that's been dominating.
Yeah.
Is it time for them to move up?
Yeah.
I think Alabama State.
It's going to be a lot, man. It's going to be a lot of moving in the next 2 or 3 years, man. It's going to be a lot of moving, man.
I think it's rightfully so. You know what I mean? They definitely got to come up with some better names. You got a Big 12, a Big 10, and got to come up with some better names than that. Like, you just gave up. It used to be a Big East when I was younger.
Pittsburgh, all them. Yeah.
I don't know what happened with all that, but it's on you, AB. I'm sorry.
No, it's gonna be a crazy college football next couple of years, yo. Top 5 QBs, man, going into 2021. Who you got, Kilo? I know you got a list, Kilo. Who's your?
Come on, man.
Who's your top 1?
Jamie Newman. No, that's shit.
Jamie Newman.
sir.
No, that's
Jamie Newman, though.
Spence Rattler from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Sam Howell from North Carolina.
Okay.
It's Alabama, so I gotta throw Bryce in. The reason I threw Bryce, it's Alabama. It's still got one of the greatest college football coaches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I got JT Daniel.
Okay.
And my last one was DJ. DJ, I'm not saying his last name. It's DJ Clemson.
Just say DJ
DJ Clemson.
Ugalele.
That's pretty much it, Ugalele.
All right, well, is there any sleeper quarterbacks coming into 2021?
Half my top 5 sleepers.
Malik Willis from Liberty, quarterback from Liberty.
Do they even come on TV?
Huh?
Do they even come on TV?
Stop,
I haven't even seen this come on TV.
People got the college package nowadays, beloved. You gonna stop that?
On TV.
I have never seen Liberty on TV at all.
I've
The only time I hear Liberty is the Statue of Liberty. All right, I never heard of Liberty, bro.
You don't watch enough football. I sit up there and watch plenty Liberty games, man.
Well, he had to transfer because he wasn't going to be on the TV at Auburn anyways. He was like QB4, and that's not even a good QB room.
I watched them beat Virginia Tech.
So you got Matt Corral on your list, right, Jared?
Oh, of course.
Who's he at, number 3?
No, I'll go 5 to 1. I'll go 5 to 1. So 5, I'm gonna go Michael Penix from Indiana. I think as a freshman, he was showing big things last year until he got hurt. I think he's gonna go off this year, and he's playing with a really good defense. I've been on record saying I thought Indiana was the best defense in the country last year. So I think he's gonna do. He still has Freifogel there, I believe. He still has one of the other weapons. So I had him at 5. I think Bryce Young is gonna thrive with Alabama. He's good, so I have him at 4. Then I had that's where I put Spencer Rattler at 3.
Okay.
We're doing in college, so I'm not like I think he will be better than my number 2 guy in the NFL. But for college, I have him at 3. Number 2, I have Dylan Gabriel, super slept on UCF quarterback. He led the country in a few categories last year. He's a big dual threat. And he plays in a good conference to where he can just be really productive and efficient, which he already was. So most points per game last year, or yards per game last year. And I think he had, it was a few other things he led in. And then number 1, Matt Corral. He's been my guy since he was in the class with Fields and Lawrence in high school. I don't know. I love, he has a ridiculously strong arm. He brings another big dual threat. His production and his efficiency was heavily diminished last year because he had one really bad game through 6 picks. But other than that, every other game he was all cylinders going. I mean, the problem for him was he was behind John Reese Plumlee, who they liked his running abilities, so he didn't really get a chance to start his first year with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Then Lane Kiffin came in and he went off last year. He took the job from John Reese Plumlee. They moved Plumlee to receiver, and he actually played really well at receiver and helped him out on a few occasions. Matt Corral, he's got an absolute cannon, threw the ball 77 yards at like the age of 16. Super strong. It's strength at the top and the bottom. He has great velocity and great distance on his throws. In certain games, obviously, he needs to get a little more improvement on his decision making, but I think he's a stud, and I think he's my Heisman sleeper. We're gonna go over that later, but he's my Heisman sleeper.
Is it my turn yet? Skip Bayless. What the hell y'all been watching?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan. What you got for us, Dan?
Number 5, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, UCLA QB1.
You're gonna get killed with
1. DJ Uga Igi Agi Uli Agi. I don't know how to say that man's name. Yadi. I mean, DJ Agi Uli Agi. That's number 4.
Yo.
I mean, number 3, the Miami Hurricanes, because I don't call them the U because they ain't win enough as the U. Miami Hurricanes. Last name King. I don't know how to say his first name either. All right. His last name is King, though.
Derek King.
Derek King? Derek King. I'm sorry. I ain't want to butcher his name. I butcher a lot of names.
Hey, him and Malik Willis are basically the same thing.
Number 2, Big Face Sam, UNC.
Yeah, Big Face Sam.
Big Face Sam Howell. His face take up the whole screen when they put him on the joint. Take up the whole big face rent, as I call him, big face Saint. And number one, Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler number one. It's my top 5 college quarterbacks coming in this year.
Okay.
Ukulele.
Ukulele, yeah. Ukulele.
Ukulele.
Before I drop my 5, right? What's your thoughts on that quarterback from USC, Slovis?
Keaton Slovis, yeah. He'll be
hearing,
decently productive. He's got some good receivers over there. Drake London's really good, and Brew McCoy's a star, so he'll be productive. I think it's another Kyle Trask situation though, where his weapons are gonna carry him to production, but he's not actually that good of a quarterback.
And the guy from Cincinnati,
Desmond Ritter, that's the D-Wicks guy. He's
I
good.
didn't
First of all,
sir, I did not like Desmond at all.
Sir, Kyle Trask got a lot of heart. That's why
I
Tampa
don't
Bay
give a damn.
drafted
So
him in
did
the
Tim
second round.
Tebow. So did Tim Tebow. He had a 47 career completion percentage in the NFL.
So he can learn from the GOAT.
AB doesn't want to talk about it.
Yo, man. I got Bryce, man, number 5. The only issue I got with them is that they lost a lot of guys, yo, from last season. They lost a lot of good production from last season. But he has a lot of talent. He's a redshirt freshman this year. So he should have a good season, man. He should have a good year. I know Alabama got a lot of guys coming in. You know, they have a lot of good freshmen coming in. And they're going to help him out anyway. So I got Jared Guy, Corral, number 4, or Ole Miss. DJU, Kilo Guy at number 3. I got Big Face Sam at 2, and I got Spencer at number 1. I'm not being biased with Spencer. You know, he did struggle in the first couple of games last year, but then he stepped up. Towards the middle from the middle to the Florida game, and he just balled out. So hopefully this year they're gonna step up even more. He has a lot of talent around him. You know, they get Kenny D. Brooks back this year.
He's Dennis is running back too.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. He's gonna have a good year, man. But you know, it's Oklahoma. Like that's what they do. They know for QB play right now. So he's gonna have a good year, man.
He's got a sleeper combo of receivers to work with too, Hasselwood and Theo Weiss.
Hasselwood been disappointing. The first year he
had the injury. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, the last year he was hurt. So hopefully this year he'll step up. They do got Marvin Williams too at wide receiver. Yeah, they have a lot of freshmen coming in at wide receiver too. So
he's got the offense around him.
Yeah, definitely. So he's going to do what Oklahoma QB's been doing the last few years, is put up numbers. Everything is on defense right now, but yeah, that's my top 5. Kilo had a good 5. Jay had a good 5. Dennis had a good 5. I appreciate that from y'all. Let me ask y'all about the guy from Indiana, right? Penis, right? He was doing good till he got injured. Like, you know, do you think he could be in the top 5 by the end of the year? Like, as far as like production wise, like, because I've seen him play. I've seen him, like, he got skills.
Production wise, I think it's going to be tough because there's some quarterbacks who have really loaded offenses. Like CJ Stroud at Ohio State, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat his production just because of how good his receivers and his tight end group is. Yeah. It's absurd. So he's going to be he's automatically going to be productive.
Okay.
But then you have guys like in Oklahoma, and then you have Keaton Slovis who will be productive because, like we were talking about, the USC weapons. It's going to be tough. It'll be tough just because he's not as loaded on offense, but I think he's damn good. And you're starting to see a lot of these Big Ten teams start taking these Florida prospects out of high school, and there's a lot of athleticism down there in Florida, and for his size and how he retains being able to pass, he brings a lot of athleticism too. He's really good, and he was only a freshman. That's what a lot of people don't realize. He was only a freshman, so he's got a lot of room to grow. He'll be all right. He could be in the top 5, but I don't think he will for production.
And I do like King from Miami. He's to play for Houston.
Yeah, he can move. He can move, man. But it's like him and Malik Willis. They're mostly just athletes at quarterback. Neither of them are that good at throwing, really. I think Derek King's a tiny bit better than Malik Willis, but you're using them to bring that dual threat 100%.
Yeah, man. He tore his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully,
and he's already a little on the smaller side too. That's another problem.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a good year for the QBs, man.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah, that was my number 2.
I just talked about.
Well,
there's one from UCF. Yep, he's.
Yeah, they got him. They got him ranked number 4 right now.
Oh, and that actually reminds me of another sleeper for quarterbacks too, Mackenzie Milton, the one who really he snapped his leg when he was at UCF, and that kind of paved the way for Dylan Gabriel to start. He's at Florida State now.
Yeah.
So I want to see what he can bring to Florida State. He was a beast at UCF.
Yeah, he's been on for about
hurt.
3 years too. He's been on for about 3 years. Yo.
Yeah. I think it was 2 years he's been out.
Yeah. He's been out for a while, man. So, but I'm glad he's he just hung in there and he's back with it now. So, but that's good for him, man. We want to go next, Kilo.
Wait, hold on. One more dude, Grayson McCall, and I don't know what team he played for.
Coastal Carolina. It's one of those teams. He's going to fall off heavy because they benefited heavy from the Corona year. Like everything was messed up. You had all these teams that had no business being ranked, ended up getting ranked games, and it was weird. Coastal Carolina is going to fall back into the depths, and they're going to forget about the hype about him. He's not bad, but that team is not going to help him at all, and he's not going to be able to do good because of the team, in my opinion.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we went over everybody that was in the top 10. We mentioned everybody that was in the top 10. So
I think we hit everybody. Yeah.
But you want to talk about
Bachmeier at Boise State too. Another name to watch.
Yeah, you gotta love his dedication. I don't know what he doing, but I ain't mad at him. He looked dedicated. I ain't mad at him.
Hey man, listen, I did my research. I thought this year.
I thought we was only going to talk about Tennessee. The Tennessee whiskey.
No. Tennessee has no quarterback to talk about this year.
Damn sure don't.
Joe Milton from Michigan, he's terrible.
Since we talking about quarterbacks, let's get into the Heisman conversation.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I know it's a bit early, but man, let's talk about it, man. It's a lot of dark horses. The crazy part is Derek Stingley is in the conversation. He's like up there as far as top 10. But I mean, I ain't seen a defensive player win.
He's not going to be even a finalist. He won't even be because nobody's going to throw the ball at him. Nobody's going to throw the ball at Derek Stingley this year. No chance. He's going to get like 4 passes thrown at him all year. There's really not a Devontae Smith that can beat him. That's the only person who's beat him. So, I don't know.
All right, so
you see the Heisman being going to a different position outside of quarterback?
No.
No.
Kilo.
No.
Because usually it's the running back that can stand up, but there's not really any like crazy standout running back that we can say there's no Najee Harris this year. There's no. Yeah.
It's just too many good QBs, man, this year. So like, I would be surprised if it was somebody else other than QB. That would be the surprise to me, but I just don't see it.
Brees Hall been in the conversation.
I mean,
he ain't gonna lead. I don't think he's gonna produce like he did last year.
He's gonna do good, but he's in the same conference as Rattler, so he ain't gonna get that much shine. They're gonna talk about him, but I just don't see him like taking that major step, man, as far as being like a Heisman contender, like, you know. But Stingley, as good as he is, he could definitely be in that conversation. But like, he would have to do a lot, like special teams.
Yeah,
you know,
he might play some receiver this year.
Yeah, like,
but he's just not gonna. The plays are not gonna go near him enough for him to make a Heisman case. That's the problem.
Right. But like, if like you had to pick one player to win it this year, who would it be?
I already gave my answer before. Matt Corral.
I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be between Corral and Sling and Sammy. Like I said, it's all gonna be depending on the way North Carolina play.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was thinking Dylan Gabriel too. But it's like Corral, like Ole Miss and UCF. We don't know how they're gonna play this year, so we don't like. And UCF, it's gonna be hard to win a Heisman period at UCF because they're just not thought of like that.
Yeah. It might be Bryce Young this year. I mean, Bryce Young might surprise people in this.
The crazy part, who's favorite right now is my guy.
DJ,
he's favorite right now.
Gotta see how Justin Ross plays. CJ Stroud, man. CJ Stroud can make a run.
He's actually in the top 5 for that too.
His pass catching options are just so ridiculous. It's like you don't even have to you barely have to do anything and you're gonna be productive there. His receiver core is stupid, and he's got the best tight end in the country. So I don't know. He automatically could make a case.
So what about Kayvon? Kayvon from Oregon.
Oh, Kayvon Thibodeau. The only thing for him,
he gotta have like 85 sacks.
His problem is going to be is he has a good defensive front around him that's going to take away from his production. I think they might have the best linebacker core, or at least the best linebacker duo. Who?
Was Chase Young having a conversation for Heisman?
He was a finalist.
Okay.
Yeah, but Oregon's got such good linebackers that it's going to be hard for him to get a lot of production. I think they have the best linebacker core in the country, so it's going to be tough.
Okay.
He'll put his numbers up though.
Do you think anybody at like the wide receiver position?
It caught me off guard when I was reading up on it.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, E.J. Williams for Clemson was actually in the top 20 for that shit. I was just surprised. Like, maybe
Mike Williams' cousin? Mike Williams' cousin or brother? I always forget which one.
I don't even know what Kenny he is. I just know he was actually doing well with us last season. But
yeah, he's good.
With Justin Ross coming back, teams maybe like, I don't care if he was out for a whole year. Make sure we're going to double coverage him, and it's going to open up opportunities for everybody else. So what I'm thinking is that, it's only out there. I don't believe it, but they do have E.J. Williams in the conversation. Like,
it's hard. It's so hard for a receiver to win the Heisman when he has another good receiver or pass catching option, period. Like, the only reason Devontae Smith won the Heisman is because Jalen Waddle got hurt. He was able to get that crazy production. That's why I would say like a Garrett Wilson, he can't win it because he has so many good receivers and pass catching options around him. Plus their running game is going to be stacked too. So I don't see any receivers either. Okay. A lot of people are really hyped on Keyshawn Boutte from my LSU Tigers, but he's all right. Mm-hmm. I think he's getting a little too much hype.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. It's going to be a quarterback. It's a quarterback for sure. It might be a straight. All finalists are probably going to be quarterbacks. If we're being honest.
They just need to change the trophy to his whole quarterback.
It just depends the year.
It's literally about ball carriers. Like
Yeah. Like I would be surprised if it was somebody else that won that shit, yo. Sleeper team. Can you name one team that that could actually make a run for the college football playoff that's like not named Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama? Is there like one sleeper team that you would be like, yo, we need to be talking about these people right here going into the season?
Texas A&M.
A&M?
Yeah, they was right there knocking at the door. They was damn near in there. They just missed it. Texas A&M. That's one of them teams like Jimbo Fisher. He's doing this damn thing down there.
Okay.
And but only thing I'm just worrying about, they just lost Kellen Mond. They lost a couple players to the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's all about now. The challenge is for, okay, Jimbo, you starting over with a bunch of new fresh faces. Now what kind of run are you going to try to give the SEC this time? They was gradually getting better as the year went on.
Okay. Do you what about Indiana, Cincinnati, Iowa State?
That was Buck Flair's choices. Let me put that out there. Buck Flair said Iowa State, Indiana, Cincinnati.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Mine's Oregon.
Crazy part. That's all. They all four mine. Texas A&M, Indiana, Cincinnati, and Iowa State.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Oregon's going to be slept on. I think they have a good offense developing. They brought back C.J. Verdell, and they have Travis Dye at running back. I think that's a really good combo. It's really they're all going to depend on the quarterback position since Tyler Shuck left. I forgot where he transferred to. They have Michael Pittman's brother, Micah Pittman.
He transferred to Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. Yeah, he'll be good there for them. But they got a nice little receiver core, but it's the defense. I love their defense. They got Verone McKinley III at free safety. They have Jamal Hill, who I think is gonna have a breakout year at corner. At the nickel, they still have Mikhail Wright at corner. But those linebackers are going to cause problems. They got Noah Sewell, Penne's brother, Mesa Funa at the other outside linebacker. And then they got Justin Flo, who was a freshman last year, but he is a monster. I think he could be the best linebacker in the country already.
I was watching this. I was watching his high school tapes.
He's disgusting.
I'm just like, God damn.
He was picking people up in the backfield and bringing them 30 yards back. He's crazy. But that linebacker core is so good behind a Kayvon Thibodeau-led defensive line. I think that defense could be a big sleeper. And I think the whole team could be a big sleeper. It's going to depend on the quarterback.
Defensive end too, ain't they?
They have Kayvon Thibodeau. But I don't know.
It's a high recruit. He was up there.
I think next year they have him coming up.
I forgot his name, but he was in high school, was weighing people. Oh my God, damn.
Brandon Dorless.
Yeah, that's him.
It might be Brandon Dorless. Yeah, he's solid too. He's going to be opposite Kayvon Thibodeau. And then Mesa Funa is kind of come off the edge. They're going to be running really 3 linemen with 2 DTs.
Okay.
But yeah, those linebackers, that defense will run through those linebackers. Noah Sewell and Justin Flo are they're gonna eat this year.
No offense to Oregon, that NFL teams are already wary of Oregon defenders.
They are, yeah.
Exactly, like Deion Jordan.
Deion Jordan.
Yeah. Yo, Oregon travels to Ohio State.
They were supposed to last year. That was supposed to be their opening game.
Week 2 this season.
Yeah. Oh.
That's gonna be
I think
crazy.
that's the only loss they get this year, honestly. It's gonna be Ohio State. Oregon. I think they win every other game. We'll see though. It all depends on quarterbacks. They have Butterfield and Anthony Brown. We're gonna see how they play.
You don't think Oregon gonna beat them?
No, I don't know. No. I think the only team that can beat, I don't know. I think Ohio State's winning the championship. I don't think they're going to lose a game this year. Personally. We're going to see.
That's going to be a hell of a game, though. Oregon, Ohio State. That's definitely going to be prime time. Yeah. That's definitely a prime time game right there.
That's going to be one of that's probably Ohio State's toughest matchup, I think, on the regular season for sure. And I think Ohio State is just so loaded, and they brought back so many good players.
They are.
They really only lost they mostly lost players that, besides the linebackers, that really struggled at times, and they have these young guys coming up. Like they lost one of their linemen, like they lost Wyatt Davis, but now they have Paris Johnson who's going to step in as a tackle, and he's a monster. He's like a Tyron Smith kind of. That was always my comp for him. But yeah, now they have all these guys. I think they have the best defensive tackle in the country, Haskell Garrett. They have Zach Harrison still at the end. They just got a legendary combo of the ends, Jack Sawyer and JT Tuamalotu. I don't know. They're loaded, and it's going to be tough. I don't know many teams that have the defensive backs to stop that pass game. And then you have the run game. You have Master Teague still there, but now they have the freshman Travion Henderson, who is a savage, who's coming up this year.
Are you sure
Travion Henderson?
No Buckeyes fan, Jared?
I'm just, they're loaded. I said it last year, like when I said Alabama, Ohio State will be those two teams will be the clear matchup in the national championship, and that Ohio State's dynasty is starting. They have a dynasty brewing. They have some crazy players coming in. Quinn Ewers is coming in next year.
Jared. They always been good.
It's different now. It's different. Like they were always good. They always were able to beat their conference. They always won their Michigan game, but they're just so low. They haven't been this loaded in a long time. That receiver core is ridiculous. I don't know who's going to cover it.
So the question is, they quarterback
CJ Stroud
got a chance to win the Heisman?
I think he's automatically, just because of how he's going to have very high
production. In the odds. He's fourth for the odds.
Now,
he might lose his job after a year.
Throwing Garrett Wilson and Chris Olette.
Buck Flair said, "How could you not consider Fryfogle?"
Fryfogle, yeah, that's what I was. When I was talking about him with Penix before, he's not going to be a Heisman candidate because he wouldn't be a candidate over Michael Penix as quarterback.
There's so many good QBs for us to consider. Anybody else, unless you had, unless you are Devontae Smith last year.
Or you take like a Garrett Wilson and put him on a team with no other good receivers. Like all the top receivers are in loaded like cores, so it's hard for them to produce enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just don't see nothing that nobody else is doing that, Jared. Like it's just
and Devontae Smith only put those numbers up enough to win the Heisman because Jalen Waddle got hurt. If Jalen Waddle was healthy all season, he wouldn't have been able to produce that high enough to get the Heisman. It's crazy. Yeah, it's receiver is a tough position to win it just because you usually have another good one if you're on one of these top teams, or you need it can rely on the quarterback too.
Okay. What about your top 5 defenses going into the season? Top 5 defenses, if y'all have any, or if you don't have any top 5, who's going to be that defense that's going to be just lights out? I know Jared gonna say Ohio State, so
they're in my 5 for defense.
No,
I don't know.
Want to know something crazy? I like South defense. They don't really play that many people, but one defense that don't get talked about. I guess I don't know. Army defense is something special. They don't play nobody. But I'm just, look at the stats for years. Look at it. Listen, I'm just throwing them out there. I'm not saying that's my number one. Throwing them out there. That defense is something special. Go look at it.
What defense? Which defense?
Army. Go look at
Army?
it. Look at the statistics.
Yeah, and they run such a fast pace. They run the clock down where it's like the defense is that.
Yes, I did. Yes,
nobody can talk about Army to the Army game.
I do.
It's the defense, like the high statistics or the lack thereof of the defense.
That just got one game a year. And that's Navy and Army.
Yes, Army and Navy.
They one game a year.
Their whole season around play.
That's it.
But
Army's defense is always so good because they run the whole clock down. That's how they run the triple option. They run 3 different things. But that's the thing. That's why their defense does so good. It's all the military academies. They just run the shit out of the ball, so they drain most of the clock on offense.
Yeah,
so it's hard for their defense to get scored on.
Hey, Jared, since you was talking about dynasties, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe that the Washington Huskies have created a defense?
That's That's one of my defenses for top 5 this year. They have a really good secondary. Really good. There's not like too many good defensive
had a really
fronts.
good secondary for the last 6 years, right?
Their defense has been solid the last couple of years, for sure. But this year, their defensive cores, specifically their DBs are really good. I think I'd say top 3 for DBs at least. I think their defense will be top 5. There's not a lot of good defensive fronts this year, as I was looking through it. I think for defense, it's largely DB cores. There's some really stacked ones.
Okay.
But Washington, they have Kyler Gordon, who's a very solid corner. They have Trent McDuffie, who's a lot of people view as a top corner. They just got Bookie from Oklahoma, Brendan Radley Hiles. If he can keep his head on straight, he's a solid player. He's out of his mind. He's just out of his mind.
Sorry to cut you off again, Jared, but they don't even have them in the top 5 cornerback duos this year.
Who?
The Washington
he's talking about Washington.
Who they got in the top 5, Dennis?
They got Stormy Duck and Tony Grimes at North Carolina.
That's a good one.
They got Ahmed Gardner and Kobe Bryant.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. They got Roger McCarley and Deshaun Miller. I think that's Auburn.
Okay.
At TCU, they got T. Hodges Thomason and Noah Daniels.
Yeah.
And we all know Derek Stingley and Eli Ricks are at LSU.
Okay.
Those are the
Trevius
top 5
Hodges Tomlinson. He's top 5 corner this year. He's a savage. He's one of those that TCU DB core might be the best. They have such a good DB core.
I think that's is that his nephew?
That's LT's nephew, yeah.
LT nephew, okay.
Oh,
yep.
Sliver got a nephew? Oh shit.
Yeah.
But their DB core, they have him. He's their top corner. I think he's a top 3 to 5 corner. He might be my number 3 behind Mullen and Stingley. And then they have Noah Daniels, who's a redshirt senior this year. He got hurt last year, but he was having a big breakout year last year. So he should be good opposite him. And then they have TJ Carter from Memphis, safety. He was really good. I liked him when he was at Memphis. I think he should be a very solid free safety for them. And they have LaKendrick Van Zandt, who is a big sleeper too, as another safety. I love their DB core. It's just going to be about how the front plays. Washington, like I said, Oregon, I already talked about them. Ohio State.
DBU. Ain't they DBU now?
No, relax.
No,
It's still LSU. It's still LSU. Let's take a breather. It's still LSU. That's where Ohio State's defense is. That's where Ohio State's defense is weak.
Got a chance.
They have Seven Banks, who's a solid first corner. The other corners are okay. It's all underclassmen. But those safeties were so bad last year. That was the one part of their whole team that was just consistently terrible. I mean, the safeties alone, like
they ran one safety though, Jared. Then they won like then they run like a nickel with the one safety or something like.
They were usually like a weird 2. They had Seven Banks and Sean Wade were the 2 main corners. And then they had Williams and what's his name. And then towards the end of the season, they started running 3 safeties, like Josh Proctor. He was Yeah, Proctor's probably who you're thinking of. He was a nickelback, but he's a safety nickel more so than a corner nickel.
Right.
He actually stepped up in like the playoffs. He was making some tackles. He was doing some things. But those other like Williams, oh my God, he gave up at least 150 alone to Fry Fogel and them at Indiana. It was bad. So if those safeties can step up, they'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah. So TCU, Washington, Oregon, Ohio State.
No Alabama. You want like Alabama defense?
Their defense, I think, is falling off, which is surprising with Alabama, but they have some good. I really like Christian Harris, the outside linebacker for them.
Okay.
They got Alabama number 1 on the PFF.
I think that's wild.
They got the Georgia Bulldogs number 2.
Georgia, okay.
Georgia is number 3. Cincinnati
Georgia's
number 4, and Washington is number 5.
Washington,
okay. Where did they got Texas A&M?
They ain't make the top 5.
No, I'm saying is 80 top 10.
I ain't get a top 10 list. I just got a top 5.
I do have Georgia in mind.
You got Georgia in your top 5, Kilo?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your top 5?
Bama, Georgia, Clemson, Cincinnati, and Texas A&M.
Okay. I was checking out the highlights of Cincinnati top corner. His name is
Gardner.
Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner.
I think he's about 6'2". He might be about 6'2". He's a big corner, man. He's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's not bad. I think he's getting a little too much hype, but we'll see.
That guy Sauce is top 3 defensive player in college football.
Yeah, that's where I think it gets wild to me.
Oklahoma has number 2 at Nick Bonito.
Yeah, Bonito, yeah.
You know Derek Stingley number 1.
Edge rusher. Okay. What about the top 5 offenses?
The crazy part, my number 1 is all right, Jared, this for you. Ole Miss. That's my number 1.
No.
That's my number 1. It's Ole Miss. Oklahoma
I think it's
State.
a runaway. Ohio State is the best offense. Like runaway.
Right
I
now,
don't think it's
on
close.
paper. It's on. How I look at
it's all, of course.
Paper.
It's all
but
on paper.
Ole Miss is. You seen what they did last year. It's only going to get better for me. Ohio State is right now is written out as good. It's not saying that CJ Stroud going to kind of prevail with the weapons that he has. It's not really kind of led up there. We anticipating it, but say he may fly. But I have Ohio State in my top 5. Actually, my 3. I have Oklahoma as my 2.
Okay.
You got Lincoln Riley right there. That's the whisper right there.
Okay.
The guru. My 4.
Wait a minute. Hold up. So where you got your Clemson boys at? Because you got Justin Ross coming back.
4.
You got them at 4?
I got Clemson at 4.
Okay.
Okay.
So who you got at 5?
Either Alabama. It was tied between Bama and Coastal Carolina.
What is up with y'all with Coastal Carolina? What is Coastal Carolina?
I like Coastal Carolina. I like them.
Oh, listen, I talked to a. Let me get this out the way. I talked to a young boy here in high school, man. He going to West Catholic right now. One of the schools he picked was Coastal Carolina. I said, well, what the fuck? I just had to look. I said, what the fuck, motherfuckers just start saying, yo, I'm going to go to Coastal Carolina. What the fuck?
Yo, listen, yo. They going there because
I was just sitting there
have nice jerseys, dog. They have nice
Coastal Carolina, nigga, you could have went to Temple. Yo, shout out to that interview, man. They was great people, man. But I was sitting like Coastal Carolina. And I ain't mad at the young boy. I was just mad at that Coastal Carolina. I'm like, Coastal Carolina? I'm like, no damn Coastal Carolina. Like, ain't nothing attracting me to no damn Coastal Carolina. He said he liked the way their offenses ran, though. That's what he said.
Would they run like a spread offense? Would they run a spread?
But he's a running back. He's a running back. He said he loved the way the offenses ran.
Well, okay. Well, hopefully they come on TV this year.
On TV, yo. You missed the game too.
They had one game, Kilo. They had one game.
Yo, we're gonna start writing down. We're gonna start writing this shit down when teams come on TV. That's gonna start being a new thing. Right, we're gonna start writing this down.
Please do.
When teams come on TV. That's gonna have to be the new thing.
I got access to every game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got access to every game too. So I got $9 cable over here. You was talking about getting YouTube TV. I got $9 cable. $9 I can watch everything.
I got links. I can watch every game. I got links.
And I may be 30 seconds late on some things, but I can watch everything.
Facts. Snap with facts.
Right. But I'm not paying no more.
Purdue
I'm not paying no more than that $9 for the cable I got. And you better let me get the DVR.
Hey, since we on defense, could we talk about Derek Stingley?
But wait a minute, hold on. Before we get to Derek Stingley, let's talk about some low-ended players first, because I wanted to hear, the defensive back guru over here, my guy Pylon to Pylon, talk about this guy from Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton.
Okay, yeah, I mean he's good. I like him. I don't think the safeties are strong at all right now in college. you're gonna have some good ones coming up in the next couple of years, but it's a pretty weak position, I think, in college right now. So I think Kyle Hamilton really is the runaway.
All right,
sure.
I'm about to put you on the spot right here. You ready for this one, Jared? You gotta rank these three corners right here. Tyree Smith, Joe Jube, and Kyer Elam.
Repeat that again. I was switching off my headphones. Sorry.
Tyreek Smith, Joe Jube from
Okay.
Alabama, and Kyer Elam.
I don't know why Josh Jobe is getting so much hype.
Josh Jobe. I said Joe.
I don't know why he's been getting so much hype. I think Kyer Elam's all right.
From Bama, right?
Bama, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's always kind of been on and off with the hype. It's weird. People were high on him, then he kind of fell off. Nobody was talking about him. Now people are talking about him again. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's okay. I don't think he's at he'll be maybe a mid-round pick after this year. I think he's going to get beat a few times at least. Kyer Elam's getting a lot of hype. He's good. I think he's better than Jobe. I don't think he's a top 5 corner by any means, but he's solid. He'll be all right for Florida. And who is the other one?
Tyreek Smith from Georgia.
Tyreek Smith.
It's going to be – he's going to have to step up.
My fault. Tyke Smith. Tyke.
Yeah. I haven't watched too much of him, but he's definitely has some shoes to fill. They had their 2 starting corners last year that went up, and then they just lost Tyreek Stevenson to Miami. He went to Miami, so he's getting catapulted into that top spot for Georgia. So we'll see. They have a couple of sneaky good players on that defense, but I think that defense is another one that's getting kind of overhyped a little bit. Yeah, I think it's really the offense for Georgia. So they don't have too many good players on defense, to be honest. I don't know why they're getting so much hype as a defense. But I don't see any of those guys at top 5 corners, at least for me, in my rankings.
Okay, all right. So let's get into the guy, the man, the myth. Supposed to be the best thing coming out of LSU as a corner, as everybody's been saying. I don't personally believe it. But we need to know, what do y'all feel about Derek Stingley Jr.?
Can I go first?
How come he didn't get the number 7? That's what I wanted to know.
He did get number 7.
In LSU, you get number 7, right? Or 18.
He is number 7. He's number 7 this year.
Oh, he's number 7 now? Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Kilo.
Yep.
Can I go first? All right. So I'm watching them. I'm watching them. I watched, like I said, I compared his best year with his declining year. His best year, man, it was just lights out. A lot of I'm not taking nothing away from Derek, but a lot of them was some bad throws, especially when LSU played Georgia, and I think that was his best game. What was that, 2019?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
he had I think it was 2 interceptions in one game. And I'm just watching. It was bad throws, but it was good ball awareness from Dart. And then then we get in the next season, and pretty much Dart was dealing with injuries too. But what I seen, to me, it was a little bit of comparison to Janoris Jenkins. He's my actual NFL comparison. I felt like Dart is a bit too handsy. I think it's a penalty waiting to happen when the NFL. In the NFL, they favor wide receivers versus cornerback. Dark has the skills to lock down most wide receivers in the NFL, in my opinion. But with the referees so favored towards the wide receiver, and as soon as they get past that 5 yards, in this whole story. But I did see him. What game was that? He was. I think it was against Missouri this year. He was hurt that game, but he was just getting beat off a lot of one steps, one cut. I mean, I think most corners do, but other than that, I did like his he ain't afraid to tackle. I really like a cornerback who willing to lay it down, willing to lay it out, guy great pursuit. I think his best attribute is his zone coverage, and like his man to man is okay. It's not the greatest, but I feel like his zone coverage is the greatest coverage from out of Derek Stingley. But like I said, we'll see next year. Last year was kind of a regression year just for him dealing with injuries. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how did he progress now that it's kind of slated out there that Derek Stingley is definitely the best guy. So let's see if he can hold those weight on his shoulders and actually lock down at least that one side of the field.
Okay. Before Jared go on his 10-minute rant, I seen some. I think it was last week. I think they was comparing him to Champ Bailey. Do y'all see any type of comparison with them two?
The player type and like the body type, yeah, but we don't know if he's Champ Bailey good. But that if you're talking just play style and body type and athleticism, he falls kind of in that category. Okay. That wouldn't be my end comparison. I don't have an exact one on him yet. I'm taking time with that one for sure.
All right, go ahead, Jared. Go on. All right, go on. 10-minute rant, Jared.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, last year he was basically playing injured from day one. He should have never been in that. We should have never had him out there in that Missouri game. We were just. It was a terrible year overall.
Huh? He was limping the whole game.
He was limping preseason. I don't know. He was really hurt all year. It would have been best to not even play him, but definitely not in that Missouri game. It was that he had no business being out there. But I think he's not going to get targeted much at all. I think it's going to make Eli Ricks flourish. He's gonna have a breakout. I mean, Eli Ricks himself had a bad first game, but as a freshman, and then he was almost lights out after that. So I think that's going to make Derek Stingley look even better. But Stingley's better in man. I think with the injuries, like if you go back to the first year, almost exclusively he was playing in that man coverage, and there was only he's given up 3 touchdowns. One was a 2-yard slant to Van Jefferson. Happens to the best of them. Everybody gets beat on slants on the goal line. Happens. Then the 2 Devontae Smith touchdowns. The one last year, which was just an incredible catch where Devontae reached back and when everybody thought the ball was just going way out the back of the end zone. And then he had the one where there was confusion with the sideline his first year against Devontae Smith, and they call hike as he's looking and talking to the sideline. Smith gets by him, and you're almost never going to recover and catch up to Devontae Smith. So those were the only 3 touchdowns he's given up. And then besides that, they had him for a whole drive against Florida his first year, manned up on Kyle Pitts, which is just like he's not big enough to do that. So it should have never been happening in the first place, especially when he's lined up at tight end and Stingley's inside. I do think Stingley is he's much better outside than inside.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing with he's so cerebral is he's been taught the game at such a high level since literally he was like 3 years old. Yeah. So he's a cerebral guy. I think he's best in man coverage because he has the athleticism to almost keep up with almost anybody. Like you said, Devontae Smith's just a different breed of speed, but he has enough speed to be on the inside, slightly behind the receivers, and then make the plays as like a bait. Basically, he can bait the quarterbacks to thinking their guy has him beat, but they don't. That's where he's best. He's shading on the inside, slightly in front, baiting, making those really athletic plays because he's a receiver / corner pretty much. Like they were saying, he's probably going to get at least some receiver reps this year. He was supposed to the last 2 years, but obviously he was hurt last year, so you're not going to risk him also playing offense.
How you feel about him pressing? But that's why I was saying a lot of he was getting beat at a lot of press conferences.
See, I like him in closed man, but I prefer him not pressing, if that makes sense. You don't really see that typically. Usually if somebody's up close, they're pressing. but I like him because he has such quick feet and he can change direction so well. And he's smart enough to know exactly which kind of turn, take a baseball turn, take a quick hip turn. He's smart enough to know all those things in the heat of the moment, to where he can. I'd rather him not wasting a second and an extra movement on putting his hands up and getting physical, because he's not like the biggest, strongest guy. I'd rather him just use what his strength is. He's best when he's sitting in front of the guy. He's able to trail. And you don't see that a lot with corners. Usually corners, you want them to have the advantage, but he's better when he's kind of on that trailing disadvantage. It's weird. He's a weird, it's hard. That's why it's hard to draw a comparison for him, because he's just a weird kind of player. It's kind of abnormal what his strengths are and what he's best at. I think he's definitely the best corner. I think there's a couple other corners who are up there with him. I think he's very close though with Taiwan Mullen. So I think it's those two guys and then everybody else at corner. But I think he is the top corner. And I think if he's healthy this year, we're going to see him shutting down. We're going to see him getting avoided on defense. We're going to see him returning the ball, punt returns and kick returns. And we're going to see some offense out of him too. So should be a good year for him. It just depends how much he's actually utilizing the other two aspects and how much he's actually like targeted and how much the plays go to him. But it should be a bounce back. And it's crazy calling it a bounce back because he was still really good last year, especially for being hurt. So we'll see. He's my guy. So he's got that number 7. That number 7 can change a player at LSU. The 7 and the number 18 can make them play even better when they get those numbers. That's really it. Man, Stingley.
Well, as Jordan said, what did you say yours, AB? Let me hear yours.
I don't watch that much college football, man. I'm just here, man, so I won't get fined. No, Stingley, from what I've seen, because like last year was probably the first year that I didn't really watch as much college football as usual because of the COVID, and it was just a lot going on last year. So I didn't watch as much as I used to. Like the year before, I watched a lot of LSU games. He balled out. He had a great year that year. Football is in his family, man. Like that's in his blood, man. So, he's a very, very good player, man. Like, I want to see him more this year. Last year, he was injured last year and there was just too much shit going on. But this year, hopefully, he's healthy. He's out there making plays. And I think he's going to be a top 5 pick in 2022. He's a guy that I've been talking about just a little bit more recently. So, I want to see him just like ball out, man. So, plus he got good size. He's like 6'1". So that's going to be key at the next level. You need guys. You need big corners at the next level. You know what I mean? So, he's a very, very good player, man. That's all I got to say about Derek, man. I gotta watch more Indiana games too, because I want to see Mullen. I want to see Sauce Gardner play. There's some corners that's going to be talked about this year. So I can't wait to watch him, man. I just can't wait to watch him. You got
what about my guy, man? What about my guy?
You talking about Andrew Booth?
Yeah, he got hands, literally.
Yeah, like Andrew's cool too. Andrew's good. So they have a lot of young corners, man. So, I just can't wait to watch everybody play this year. Is there any current corner that's in the league right now that you would compare Derek to, or you can't really compare him yet to anybody?
I thought mine was Janoris Jenkins.
Janoris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was my comparison.
Jack Rabbit. Okay. All right. I'll definitely make a note of that one, and because like a lot of people don't really talk college football like us, so I want to see more people talk about it, man.
I'm gonna wait to see what he do this year because I got to see him in the injury year, so I'm not gonna compare him to nothing.
Yeah. You want to do the coach of the year, or you want to skip that? You want to save that for another time, or
Ryan Day.
I'm picking the guy from Cincinnati.
It's time. No, Ryan Day. It's time. Oh, he's gonna be the first Ohio State coach to actually win it. Come on, Ryan Day.
Ryan Day. Okay.
They just gotta win it all. Yeah, I think that's the only way Ryan Day get it. Undefeated, win it all.
Okay.
I got the guy from Cincinnati.
Okay. I'm gonna go with I don't want to go with the obvious guys, man, like Dabo, and it seems like it's always the same guys, man.
What about Jimbo? You got Jimbo, Texas A&M. Hey, what about what's the guy from Northwestern? Remember they were surging for a little bit, and then
Fitzgerald.
Pat Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald,
the conversation depending on the success with Northwestern.
Right.
And then everybody been talking about Iowa State. Who's to say Matt Campbell might do something with Iowa State? Who's to say?
Okay. I would love to see Riley win it. It just depends.
Wait a
man.
minute, he hasn't won it yet?
No.
Thanks.
No.
I don't think so.
No. It's gonna be tough because you already expect Oklahoma to be a top 4 team. You expect that. So you expect the team to have success. It's gonna be tough for him to kind of be in that conversation because it's like Nick Saban. He's gonna be there. So why give him coach of the year when you can give it to like the coach from Coastal Carolina? And let's say he go undefeated.
Dennis took his head off.
That's why I did it. I'm just saying I'm using it for example though, but I mean to see a team go undefeated or Alabama undefeated, you're saying Alabama undefeated. Everybody's saying the team undefeated. You expect Oklahoma to be undefeated. That's why I think it's be tough for Lincoln Riley to do it.
Yeah. But he's been great, man. He won 45 games, lost 8 so far in his career.
Yeah.
The top 5 uniforms, the fresh to death uniforms. Kilo,
I didn't specify which one for Oregon, but I can just say Oregon and close my damn eyes and just pick out a damn jersey. I like all their uniforms.
They got they got like 40 different combinations, yo.
I like Georgia, their black jerseys.
Yeah,
I do. I like that combination. That at the LSU with the white helmets, yo.
Oh,
with the best jerseys are those golds.
With the purple
jersey? Love the golds.
Yeah, that whole setup is mean. Then I have Florida. They wore a retro jersey of a 1960s version.
Mm-hmm.
They had the F on the side of the helmet.
Okay.
That was kind of hard. And Arizona State, they've been sneaking in there with their little jerseys with the black and the gold. Yeah, right. They got a nice little combination. That's why I really like it. That's my 5 uniform.
That black and gold joint is nice on there.
Yeah.
Well, you do got to say Oregon's number 1.
Matter of fact, you don't even got to specify what jersey. Just
yeah, right.
But that yellow joint is tough, man. Or lime or whatever it is. That joint is tough.
Yeah,
They had a recent one that the all grays. I like those a lot.
Yeah, I remember the first year when they when EA Sports college football game when they gave Oregon all them uniforms, yo. Yo, I went crazy that one year. Yo. I was like, yo, they got all they had every combination, yo. They had the socks, the cleats, all that stuff. So hopefully on the next college football game that's coming out in a year or two, they're gonna have all them different combinations on there, yo, for Oregon.
There's so many sick jerseys now. It's it's hard to pick.
Yep, they are.
I love TCUs just because I like dark purple is probably my favorite color, and they do their like with the frog like necklace or whatever it is around the shoulder pads, and I love TCU's jerseys too.
Okay.
The LSU gold, man, I love that jersey. Our alternate. That was like 2-3 years ago. We introduced that very recently.
Yeah, them jerseys do be looking hot though.
UCF has a couple good jerseys. I like the gold, like gray and black combo.
Pittsburgh be like in and out. It's one of the. I think it was Pittsburgh. They had the Army color in their jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
It was I forgot. Them was hard. It was gray.
A lot of teams doing camo alternates now. TCU has one. Theirs is pretty cool.
Okay. You got anything else to add to the show? Dennis?
I just want to say that going to Coastal Carolina is like playing for Old Dominion. I'm just like putting that out there. All right,
come on,
that's how often
you don't even know.
AB asks how often do they come on TV? I think they about equal, Old Dominion and Coastal Carolina. You know what I mean? Y'all killing me with them teams. Killing me, Coastal Carolina. The hell?
Coastal Carolina. Do y'all want to do another show like like right before the season start? I guess like maybe the week or two before it start, like in August sometime.
Yeah, that's good with me.
When do the season start? Let's get that out of the way.
The 28th of August.
Yeah, August 20th.
That'll be good. That'll be a good.
Yeah, we could do like a bunch of week 1 predictions and stuff like that.
We could go over who played who and.
Yep.
Who's gonna win? That way, me and Kilo can put our bets in. Sound good to me? Yeah.
Yeah, because Georgia and Clemson. That's the game of the week for week 1.
I thought it was Miami.
No, I think it's Georgia.
Clemson. You talking about Miami and Bama?
Miami and Bama. Yeah, they playing at the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
No, it's Georgia Clemson.
Yeah, it's almost definitely Georgia Clemson.
And Miami think they're gonna beat Alabama.
For real? Or Miami?
Not yet.
They really serious. They putting out
Nah.
They gonna beat Bama.
Everybody says that.
Unless King
like Lane Kiffin at Tennessee, right?
Hey, anybody actually bring up no old shit, all right?
Hey, he's the one who said he was gonna be singing Rocky Mountaintop all the way home.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
He went all the way to another job.
I got another question though for Kilo because he down there in Maryland. How do you feel about the Tua's little brother?
Talking about is his name Talia?
Talia.
You know I fuck names up.
Talia, Tuagavoli, whatever. I thought it was a great addition for Maryland. Cause I be talking to Nell about it. I'm saying, Nell, how do you feel about it? Nell stood up there like he liked the move. He said, it's been a while since Maryland had a quarterback. Man.
Yeah, I like him. Good.
It was matter of fact, only thing he keeps telling what harmed him the most is that time when Maryland had Ohio State beat and the quarterback missed a dude in the back of the damn end zone, man. I said, yo. I said, how? I said, how, man?
Yo, that game was close as hell, yo. I remember I put the ticket in. I was like, yo, Ohio State was supposed to win this game. What the fuck?
He had a wide, like Maryland had a wide, if he had him wide open, and just throw a duck. But like I said, we'll see. I'm definitely looking forward to him seeing what he can do for Maryland. But you know how Maryland is. Maryland always start off strong and then start declining there for like the second, third week. Because remember they started last year blowing the first two teams out, putting up 68 points. Like it's a damn basketball game. And then they decline some, but we'll see. I hope he don't be like his brother though. I ain't no shots against Tor. I like Tor, but Tor, I don't know.
Yo, man, like that's another thing. Like, what happened with all that? Like, because like, I remember when Tua was out, was at Bama, people loved him. Like, people was hyped about him. Now it's like people don't like him no more. What happened?
It's crazy. I don't know.
What happened?
He's one of the most disrespected.
When he got hurt with the hip injury? But no, he was already kind of regressing at that.
I mean, the crazy thing is, as a pro, he went 6-3, and
no. Ryan Fitzpatrick went 6-3.
No. He went 6-3 as a starter.
He had a better record than Fitzpatrick last year, like win-loss by like 4 games.
His best game was against Arizona, though.
He was like 6-2
I'm talking about them games that Ryan Fitzpatrick closed the games out.
Even counting that,
I
had this argument with somebody on Facebook. Even counting that one, he still had like 3 games up on Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick lost like 4 games early. Like his first 4 games he lost, and Tua won his first like 5 games. The coaching, like they just kept taking him out, and the playbook just held him back. They wouldn't let him do anything deep ever, and then expected him to just put up points. It made no sense.
I think he loses confidence, man.
I think he's got it.
Didn't he get benched for Jalen Hurts? And then you go to the NFL.
Jalen Hurts got benched for him.
Yeah,
he got benched when he was 17 for 24, 90-something yards, 1 touchdown, and no interception.
Yeah, he got benched. We got benched
in a 3-point game when he would have had his first real test of being clutch in the 4th quarter, and then they benched him for Fitzpatrick. And I think they ran 2 deep routes that whole game for him.
No, I'm talking about when he was in college.
In college?
He got benched.
He got hurt. He got hurt in the championship game when Jalen Hurts came in.
No,
he never got benched for performance.
I could have sworn he got benched.
No, not for performance. It was either because they were up 50 or it was injured. That's the only time he ever got benched.
I gotta look at that one.
Like he was a top 5 pick, and then I was watching Talking Ish like a while back. They were saying Tua was on the hot seat. I'm like, dang, the motherfucker just got there.
People love to put everybody in the hot seat after 3 seconds. It's crazy.
Like,
people want to put Cliff Kingsbury in the hot seat. Already.
Don't act like quarterbacks don't go on the hot seat fast. Okay,
that fast?
It's with all coaching.
Did we not see after 1 year? Chosen Rosen. What happened to Chosen Rosen after 1 year? What am I saying right? Tell me something. Because I see you just single out Talk You Ish each and every Tuesday come to you at 8 p.m. Make sure you email.
Please check out Talk You Ish Tuesday. But Rosen didn't really have a chance though.
Does Tua have a chance? Does Tua really have a chance with that?
No line. He had nothing there in Arizona.
Yeah, but the problem is every time Rosen came in the game, he threw like 6 picks. He immediately started throwing the ball in the dirt.
I don't think he got 6 picks on his resume.
He's only every time he's winning, he's throwing a pick.
Come on, yo.
Every fucking time. It's crazy.
I ain't gonna say that, but what I am gonna say is it's happened before. It's happened to Chosen Rosen. I like Tua. I was excited when he beat Arizona because it was like I was like because it looked like it was personal to him. Like, no, Kyler Murray not better than me. Like that's what it seemed like it was to me. Like it was personal. Like I'm gonna show.
And he pretty much outperformed like, Kyler.
They had a real shootout. Like to me that was a classic game right there. They had a real shootout.
Yeah, that was one of the better games of the season last year.
Yeah,
And he outperformed.
Game,
statistically, he outperformed Kyler. I'm pretty sure.
To me, that was a real good game, and I was like, maybe he's starting to, elevate. And then next thing you know, they started that switch hitter shit on like a pitcher. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, just let him lose the game if he's gonna lose the game. Like
right.
even against Kansas City, he was doing pretty good. A lot of other people want to say, oh, if Fitzmagic was there, they would have won. No, he threw a fucking interception as he usually do.
It was just painful to watch because they literally would.
The same situation too. Almost.
They would literally let Tua get maybe 2 deep routes all game, and then Fitzpatrick comes in and he gets a whole drive of just deep routes, and he misses half the throws. It's ridiculous. Tua really got taken out when he was like 17 for 22 completion, 100 yards, a touchdown, and no interception, and got taken out.
Just dumping the ball off.
That's all they let him do, because all they do is let him run 11 yard or shorter routes across the field. But then they expect him to score every drive when you're having 26 plays a drive. Not everybody can do that as a rookie.
Right.
AB, you gonna close us out, man?
Yeah. Thanks to Jared, Pylon and Pylon. Thanks to Kilo, Mr. Clemson, and Mr. Ignorant Thinker, Dennis. Thank y'all for being here on the show. We had a good discussion. Hopefully we'll be back in another month or so before the season start. Yeah. And we'll go over the schedules and like the best games to play. Hopefully y'all will send topics. If y'all got topics.
I will send my topics.
I'll have at least a topic.
So we could talk about it on the show. Definitely gonna talk about the best games going into next year. And I think that's pretty much it, man. Thank y'all for watching. And we out of here, man.
We out of here, baby. Sam Sports. God bless.
It's supposed to say CFB Podcast.